In 6A.6, we're going to review similar and congruent statements. We're going to start by making similar statements. When we look through, we have that this is an angle, side, and an angle. As I look around, G also has an angle, side, and an angle. So I'm going to say that B is similar to G by angle, side, angle. Then this one has an angle and an angle. I'm gonna look for matching. It has 3 marks. 1, 2, 3. Angle, angle. So I have that A is similar to C by angle, angle, similarity. Angle, angle. It matches up here. E is similar to F. And that leaves side, 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 side. D is similar to H by side, side, side. When you look through, similar means that they are same shape, just maybe a different size. Now, if they're congruent, they have to be the exact same size. They have to be equal to each other. So when I go through and I compare, are B and G the same size? They would be the same size, so I would put an equals to make it a congruent symbol. Now let's look at A and C. A and C. A is smaller, C is bigger. It stays similar, it's not congruent. E and F. Same thing, E is smaller than F, they're not the same size. Now, D and H. I have the 3 sides, and one is smaller, or one's bigger than the other, so I'm going to leave it as a similar. Right, next question. B, I have 3 sides given. That would be side, side, side. I need to check the proportions. I like starting with the smallest number and working my way up. Then I do the same thing on this one. 49 is the smallest number, and 84 and 91. I'm going to check my proportion. As long as they all equal the same decimal, they are proportional. By side, side, side. NML, N, whoops, wrong way. N to M to L. And that went along the middle size and the long size. So I have to go along the middle size and then the long side. So it would be T, U, B. Question C. I'm given 72 and 72, so the angles are good. They match. Now I'm going to check my proportions. 70, 84, 20, 25. 70 over 20 and 84 over 25. They are not similar. Question D. I have marked that they have the angles 108, 108, 60, 60. They're gonna equal the same thing. They're the same numbers. So they are similar by side, angle, side. RST, RST would match BDC. Forgot my little triangle in there. Alright, question E. I am given these two angles match. And then based off of vertical angles, I know that these ones will match. So it is similar by angle, angle similarity. RST would match RVU. Question H. I have a side, an angle, side, side, angle, side. Just practicing statements. Angle, angle, angle. These are vertical angles. That's angle, side, angle. And I have a side, side, and a matching side. All three sides are given. Alright, for our next one, this is the fun part. Whenever we have a right triangle with an altitude, on your homework they should have boxes marking the right angles. So when I take out my right triangles, I like making sure the long is on the left, the short leg's on the bottom, and the hypotenuse is on the right. So when I make a proportion, this one's already right side up with F on the long leg, E on the short leg, B on the hypotenuse. Then this triangle, if I were to rotate it up, F is the small leg, D is the long leg, and A is the hypotenuse. So I'm just rotating it up so that it looks like this one. This triangle, if I were to like reflect it and rotate it, B is the small leg, A is the long leg, and C is the hypotenuse. So there are three triangles within the one. So I'm going to try and apply that to question A. I have three triangles. You can put little boxes in there if you want. You don't have to. Okay, first is this one. This is the long leg, short leg, hypotenuse. So I'm going to put Y on the long leg and 5 on the hypotenuse. Then here, Y is the short leg and 12 is the hypotenuse. And on the big triangle, I have 5 as the little leg, 12 as the long leg, and X is the hypotenuse. And my goal is to find X and Y. So the one that stands out to me is this one. I can solve for x just using this one triangle. 12 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared. Square root it. X is a 13. Okay. Now that I know x, I can find y. And for y, I'm going to use a proportion. I'm going to say, I can use either one. I'll just use 5. 5 is a small number. If I do 5 over y equals, if I do 5 over y, that means I have to do 13 over the 12. I have to follow the same pattern. That would give me 13y equals 5 times 12 divided by 13. Y is equal to 4.6. So we found x and we found y. Question B. I take out my 3 right triangles. Okay, this little one has a long leg of A and the hypotenuse is 5. Then I have the short leg is A with the hypotenuse B. And then the big triangle, hypotenuse is 8 with a long leg of B and a short leg of 5. Once again, I notice this triangle. I could solve for B. B squared plus 5 squared equals 8 squared. So on this one, I can either say b equals square root 39 or b equals 6.24. I'm just gonna round to 2 decimal places. On your computer, I like typing in the root. Makes it easier. Doesn't get picky about rounding, so I would use the root, the exact value. Alright, now I'm going to solve for A. So let's see if I can find A. I know that A over 5 would equal B over 8. And I already solved for B. B was the square root of 39. I'm going to cross multiply. 8A is equal to 5 times the square root of 39. Divide the 8 off. I could type it in an exact form on my computer or as a decimal. 5 square root 39 divided by 8. 3.90. Once again, I like typing it in an exact form, but you may use the decimal if you prefer. Question C. I have my 3 triangles. I have this small triangle. Let's see, long leg is N, 4, and A. If I rotate this one up, the N is the short leg, 6 is the long leg, B is the hypotenuse. The big triangle, A is the short leg, B is the long, and the hypotenuse would be 10. 6 plus 4 is 10. I can now try and solve. Let's see, these have double letters, double letters, double letters, so I'm gonna have to try, I won't be able to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared because all of them have double letters on each. So I'm gonna use proportions. I'm gonna say a over 4 equals 10 over a. A over 4 equals 10 over a. A times a equals 4 times 10. Square root it. I can leave it in exact form or as a decimal. Square root of 6.32. Once again, I like leaving it in exact form. Now, if I want to solve for b, if I do 6 over b, it will equal 6 over b, it'll equal b over 10. Notice I'm using the same pieces with numbers in the same letter. B times b equals 6 times 10. Square root. I can leave it in the root or as a decimal. Square root of 60 is 7.7, round up to a 5. Now I'm gonna solve for n. Where's n at? N is right here. N in 6, n in 4. N over 4 equals 6 over n. The square root of 24 is 4.90 when it rounds. So you may use exact form or decimals. I would use exact form. Question D. Taking out the 3 triangles. This is the long leg, N. I don't know the short leg, hypotenuse is 8. Short leg is N, hypotenuse is 15. Don't know the long leg. Short leg is 8, long leg is 15, hypotenuse is C. Oh, I love when that happens. I can find C with Pythagorean theorem. 289 squared root is 17. All right, now I want to find n. I cannot do n over 8 equals 15 over n. I can't do that because they're not in the same locations. They would have to be in the same spots to set up the proportions. So when I solve for n, I would have to do n over 8 equals, I can't use this one, so I'd have to do 15 over 17. Cross multiply, 17n equals 8 times 15, 120. Divide by the 17, 7.06. As you can tell, there will be a lot of decimals on your assignment. From here, you should be good to complete the 8 questions on your assignment. The next questions I am going to go over are all review. They will not be on the test. I'm just showing you in case you want the extra review for the final at the end of the year. So, question A. If I use these and I set up a proportion, I would do 10 over 5 equals 14 over x. 10x equals 5 times 14. Divide by 10. X is equal to 7. Question B. If I do, this one's different. I have to be careful because these are bases. So I'm going to take the 2 triangles out. If I do 5 over 6, it would equal 5, 6, 7, 8 over a. 5a is equal to 6 times 8, 6 times 8, divide by the 5. So be very careful on those. Question C. No base, so I can go straight into 15 over 9 equals 8x plus 1 over 15. 9 times 8. 9 times 1 equals 15 times 15 minus the 9. Divide by 72. If they want me to find the side, I would plug it in. Missing side is 25. Question D, we have the side lengths. I can set up my proportion. (3x minus 6 equals 6 times 2. Add the 6. If I want to find the missing space, I just plug the 6 in. 6 minus 2 is 4. When a line is drawn parallel to AC, creates a point D. Where is D located? So this dot, if I follow the Slope, it's up 2 over 3. This would create a parallel line, and D would be locate, not D. It would intersect at this location, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. Its ratio would be 2 to 4, or 1 to 2 if you reduce. If I make a parallel line, it intersects right here. That would be at -4, up 4. And its ratio would be 1 to 3. Or you could say 3 to 1 if you want to switch them. Same thing on this side. If you said 2 to 1 or 4 to 2, it's okay. The ratio could be either one, depending on the direction, if it's growing or shrinking. For sequence review, if it says arithmetic, that means it is adding or subtracting. 7 to 22 is adding 7, 8, 9, 10, plus another 12, that'd be 15. But it's skipping 1, 2, 3 steps, so I divide that into 3 pieces. It's adding 5 each step. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. When we write the explicit, f of x equals your slope, x, the 0 intercept, would be 7 minus 5, so it'd be a 2, positive 2. (10 to 43), that's adding 33, 1, 2, split that into 3 pieces, that'd be adding 11 each time. My explicit rule, my slope is 11x. My y-intercept, 5, 4. I'd have to go back to 0. So 10, I'm just gonna use my calculator. 10 minus 11, minus 11, minus 11, minus 11, minus 11. That was 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The y-intercept was negative 45. If they say that you have geometric, that means you are multiplying or dividing. 7 to 56. 56 divided by 7 is 8. That is timesing by 8. But I want that 8 to be split into 3 pieces. I can use this, or I can put a power of 1/3. It's going to break it into 3 equal parts. Times by 2 each step. 7 times 2 times 2 times 2. F of x equals, I'm going to be lazy and say that I start with 7, times it by 2 each time, but I have to do x minus 1 for starting with the first term. 3 to 24 times by 24 divided by 3 is 8. Split it into 3 equal parts. 8 to the power of 1/3. timesing by 2 every step. 24. So I would write f of x equals 3 times 2 to the power of x minus 7. We're starting with the 7th term. And that is the end of the unit. Make sure you do the required review for the test, and let me know if you have any questions.